Warning, this content is for entertainment and educational purposes only. All right, folks, Big Paul here today with freshly minted IFBB Pro, Tom DuPont. What's up, man?
Hey.
Used to be T-Unit NPC. I guess it's going to be IFBB now, right?
Yeah, man. I gave it a few days, and then I was talking to my girlfriend. I was like, you know what? I think it's time.
I put the IFBB down below. I didn't put it in my name. I don't know. I probably should, but hey, you earned that pro card. You might as well brag about it.
The thing is, I don't want to. You know how the stigma we get, right? Like,
yeah,
everybody just thinks we're douchebags. But you know what? Like, this is the greatest achievement of my life so far, and I'm really proud of it. So I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want. Like, that's how I feel about it.
Well, I don't think people understand how fucking hard this is, man. Like, like the grind that goes in it, all the years and the hard work. I mean, it like they have no idea. Like I always love when I talk to the young guys at the gym and they've got their 2-show plan to get their pro card, and I'm like, all right, bro.
Yeah,
I've been lifting for 30 years, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I love, like, the compliments that mean the most to me are the people that actually understand the work and the sacrifice it takes, and the ones that recognize that. Because at this level, we're all in good shape. You know, that's what we do. We're all jacked. But like the people that actually understand, like, wow, like I know you put in the work. Like that's what matters. That I like.
Well, the food, I think that's the part that breaks people. At least what I've seen. Yeah. The food is the hardest part.
Yeah, for sure.
The dudes that say they want to be a pro, and I'm like, all right, like the gym for me is easy. I love going to the gym.
That's the best part.
That's the best part. That's the part I love. It's weighing and measuring and prepping and taking your food with you every fucking where you go, man. It's a pain in the ass, man. That's the part that sucks. All these young guys think they're one cycle away from being a pro. Like bro, if I took that, I'd. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Let's
nuts, man.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah. There's some cooler young kids around my area. Actually, I'm pretty impressed by it because most of the ones I've seen are not. But there's one I met at the Vermont show. Is a really good kid, just super humble, but he's doing physique. But he looks good. And there was another guy who won in Classic. He was younger, and same thing, just super humble guy. And it's not the stereotypical like gym bro, that I've been seeing. So it's nice.
Well, it's fun when it clicks. I do like working with young guys, and when you see it click, like I'll have guys that'll, like, if I can get them through a prep, like I think that's when you find out if they're real or not.
No, for sure. Yeah.
If I can get them
good.
If I can get them through a prep, get them through a show, and a lot of times they get humbled the first show, like they get up there. It's overwhelming, and you don't know how to pose, and like guys come in like I'm going to win my first show. I'm like, just don't worry about that, man. Just get up there, get on stage, get in shape, learn how to pose. That's our goals for first show.
My first show, like, we all have it. Those first show pictures that are just like, I don't want anyone to see these ever.
Yeah,
and then fucking Barry posts a check-in like of my early days and my first show picture on his Instagram. I'm like, great. Awesome.
Yeah. I think I have it. I have it right here, man. This guy.
I was not expecting that at all. Yeah, there it is. Thanks for that.
It looks like a guy that enjoys a few brews and some McDonald's.
Dude, I was drinking a lot at that time.
Yeah, I can tell. I can always tell, man, with the swollen face.
Yep. That was back in my police days, man. It was like my only hobby. I'd do like 20 minutes a week off.
Yeah. Well, you come a long way since then, man.
Yeah, I wasn't happy, so I just decided I was going to fix my life.
Like, how old were you in that pick?
What's that?
How old were you in that pick?
It was 2018. So how many years ago was that? 6 years ago? I was 33.
Wow, you've made some crazy progress since then.
Yeah. That was
how much weight?
That
How
was a
much weight
bad
did you put on?
260 in that picture. I started at a bad 270.
Well, you got a big frame then. I mean, you
Yeah.
weren't like, dude, I wouldn't say you were like obese. You just look like
No,
a
I mean, I've
bro
been in the
there.
gym since I was 12.
Yeah.
I've been working out my entire life for the most part. I just got lazy when I was a cop and started drinking a lot.
Yeah, you just look bloated.
Yeah, I felt it.
Yeah, but you can see that you got the frame there, man. You got a big frame. How tall are you? You're not super
5'8".
tall. What, 5'8"? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so that's perfect bodybuilding height.
Yeah, and it's like a real 5'8". I don't like lie about that shit.
Would you weigh in at the show?
239. I think it was 239.
Oh wow, man. That's a lot of mass on that frame.
Yeah, it does not seem like it. It's do you deal with that? Do you deal with like being big but not really like understanding that you're big?
Oh yeah, I mean we all have body dysmorphia.
Dude,
We wouldn't be
it's so
bodybuilders
weird.
if we didn't. People say you're big, and I'm like, I don't think I'm big enough, man.
Yeah. It's like I felt big when I was 280. This 240 thing is not big.
That's always the mind fuck at the end of contest prep. I think that this is where you can get in your own head. It's like you get smaller, you get weaker, and I'll see it with a lot of guys who are like, man, I'm losing all my fullness, I'm losing all my strength. I think I need a refeed. I'm like, no, bro, you don't need a refeed.
So this is what really helped me this prep, and I really wanted to train. I feel like I learned a lot about my body this year as far as training, and I wanted to train with as much intensity as I could in a safe way.
Yep.
So my entire prep, I was still working as hard as I could. I was just doing it safely. So obviously it wasn't the same weight or same reps or intensifiers, but I was still just working. And that was all that mental thing where you just got to be like, yeah, you're tired, you're hungry, but you better, don't be a bitch, like do the work. And I think it really changed how I looked on stage this year, way more compared to other years. I was fuller, I was still big, like I wasn't, deflated. I think it made a huge difference.
Well, you look great up there, man. I think it was. I mean, when I saw you up there, man, it was clear to me that you were winning.
Oh, thanks, man.
I mean, yeah, it's fun. It's wild when you're up there with everybody. It's hard, like you can't see it.
Yeah, I didn't know
in the
who I was
audience.
next to,
No, sitting in the audience, it's obvious when you look. I mean, you're at width and conditioning. I mean, Andrew gets people in shape.
Man, he's so good. I mean, he would have me do something. 2 hours later, I check in with him, and then he would make an adjustment off that change, and you're going to see changes. Like, it was insane how, like, I guess meticulous he was able to get me.
Well, he had multiple people with pro cards at that show.
Yeah. It was great. It was really cool.
Yeah, he's one of the guys I look up to. I mean, that guy has his shit together.
Yeah. I've known him for a long time now. And so he was my first coach back in that 2018 time. And then we just went different ways. I ended up getting back with him because I had Patrick Tour, I had Justin, and that Patrick Tour thing was that was not a good choice. But anyway, I started talking to Andrew again, and I'm really happy. Like, I even saw a difference from when he was coaching in 2018 to now. Just how smart that guy is and how much information he can learn and retain and then use. I love it. Like, I'm just like, just tell me what to do. I'll do whatever you say.
Yeah, part of it with coach too is how you click with them too. Like I work with Justin.
Yeah.
And I have for years. And Justin's kind of hands off, and that's what I like. I'm like, just give me the diet. I'll take care of everything else myself.
Yeah. I remember he was the first coach I had that did the macro thing, and I had to make my own diet.
Yeah. That's all I need. I just need to know how much of this I need to eat, and that's it.
Yeah. I'm okay with that off season, but when it comes to prep, like I want you to micromanage the shit out of me.
Yeah, I go back and forth on it, man, with my own clients because I give people macros, but then I think most people can't do fucking math.
That's a good point.
and it's like I can't tell you how many times I've told people, eat chicken, and I find out, I'm like, bro, you're not losing weight. What kind of chicken are you eating? And they're like, a chicken thigh. So I'm like, no, motherfucker.
Hey, come on, man.
Chicken breast it's dry. It doesn't taste very good. I'm like, yeah, that's bodybuilding, man. Yeah.
I'm a great fucking prep cook now, dude. Like, I don't know. I can make prep food taste so good with seasonings and 0-calorie shit that doesn't mess up your stomach.
I'm the worst. I'm the worst, dude. People make fun of me. I just like bake my chicken. I don't season anything. I just eat plain rice. It's because I'm lazy.
Up until like a week out, I used the sugar-free Sweet Baby Ray's.
Yeah, that stuff's awesome, man.
And this year, I use zucchini and mushrooms in pretty much every meal because you know how your carbs get lower and lower. Like, I still want that volume. It helps me, not want to eat. So I use mushrooms and zucchini. No bloat. It added a ton of flavor, dude. And I used it up until 3 days out. Oh, I liked it. So I'm gonna stick with that for a while.
You look like you have the kind of physique, man. Like you're one of those guys that just stays full no matter what.
Yeah. Unless I take too much T3. But yeah.
Oh man, I fucked up bad on T3 on a prep one time. I told myself I was going to be the leanest guy on stage. I worked up to 100 micrograms of T3. I also didn't realize I was going to look like I just rolled out of a forced labor camp.
You do. You look so like beat up and tired. It just not you, but like in general.
Oh my god, it was bad. I looked like a skeleton, man. I lost like every bit of muscle I had. For me, T3 is just a break glass in case of emergency, or if you're going to run it, just run a replacement dose just for energy.
I think I was running. It was 50 micrograms a day.
Yeah,
that's like week.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
I did a video earlier this week on one of the Brazilian pros that was running 200, and I'm like, holy shit, man.
I feel like at that point you just didn't you're not ready, right?
Yeah, that's a guy that's not following a diet. That's what I see there. Although he said it wasn't true, but I don't know. The email address was on there, so I don't know. Anyway, I made that mistake one time, man. Never again. I'm weird though, man. I'm naturally a skinny guy. You look like you're stocky. You're just
for sure. They used to call me Drew Carey in middle school, dude. It was a fucking nightmare.
I can see that now, man.
You shut your mouth.
We both got that big head, man.
Oh God, dude, tell me about it.
People are like, man, did that head come from GH? I'm like, no, that came from my dad.
Yeah.
I was born with this thing.
I do not wear fitted hats. Let's put it that way.
Oh no, man, they don't work for me either. No. I'm like, look at the pictures of me when I was a kid, and look at my kids. Look at my dad, man. We all have giant fucking heads.
I had to be a bodybuilder to grow into my head. I mean, that's why.
It sucks, man, because if you have a little head, it makes you look bigger. That's the optical illusion, man. You look at Arnold like he had a tiny head, man, and it made his arms look bigger.
His chest,
That's the sucky thing about being tall, man. Like I have to put on twice as much weight to look as big as everybody else. It's kind of sucks.
It's funny, yeah, because 5'8" is super. It's either considered short or average, right? So most of my life, I'm like, fuck, man, I kind of wish I was taller. But now that I'm a bodybuilder, I'm like, this is perfect. Like, 5'7", they say that's a short guy. 5'8", like, oh, that's a good height.
5'8" to 5'10" is like perfect bodybuilding height.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at all the guys that are at the top of the Olympia stage; they're all except maybe Hottie.
Yeah, there's the outliers, but yeah, you're right.
They're all in that range. They're all in that range, man. Hottie, man, that dude. I saw him at the Arnold. I went to the Arnold this year.
Yeah.
I've never seen that much size and condition on a dude that small, man.
Really?
It's crazy.
Yeah, I haven't met Hottie. I met Sean Corrida, and that's how I felt about him.
Oh, Sean doesn't look real. He looks like a cartoon character.
It's amazing. Excuse me. He was a guest poser at the Vermont show a few years ago. It was like the year before he won the Olympia. And I got to meet him at the gym, and just super cool guy. He helped me pose and everything. But I just saw how fucking thick he was. It was insane. I felt so small next to this guy, and I outweighed him, and it didn't even matter. It's really cool.
pound per inch, he's got to be one of the biggest guys on the planet.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's amazing.
Like, I don't think you could fit more muscle. You know, like, I look at your frame and I'm like, yeah, you could carry some more.
Oh, yeah. We're going to need some more.
You can squeeze some more on there. But, like, that dude, I'm like, where the fuck's it going to go?
Yeah.
He's so full and round.
Mm-hmm. Hard.
Yeah. Yeah, I met him at the Arnold this year, and he just, like, he looked like a cartoon character.
Yeah. I think, so I know Carlos Thomas. I hung out with him backstage at Nationals 2 years ago in Orlando. The one that he won.
Yeah.
And then I met Ken. I forget which show that was a couple years ago as well. But like those guys, same thing. Like they have so much muscle. They're so thick. Like, how do you put more on? It's amazing. Like, I'm so jealous. Carlos's like side shots with his hamstrings and his arms are stupid. Like, it's bananas how big that dude's arms are.
Yeah, I think the biggest dude I've seen in person is Samson.
Oh yeah,
that guy,
big.
That dude is ginormous. I
When
think he was at the New York Pro. He was hanging out, man, and he was like 330 and lean.
Yeah,
he's like my height, and I'm like, oh man, yeah. Yeah, there are levels to this.
I'm gonna try to hit 300 this year for my off season.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
I got up to 284 last year. So if I hit like the 290s, 300 is the goal, but I'd be like satisfied with 290s in this off season.
I've been up to 300 before. It wasn't pretty.
I was gonna say, your height, like, was it still like pretty hard, uncomfortable?
Yeah, I have a small frame. Like you look like you have a big frame, man. Like you're a guy who can carry size. Like I'm scrawny naturally.
I see what you're saying.
So I have small bone structure, and it's just like, it's like I couldn't believe, like, you know Wesley Vissers, right? Like,
yeah.
I was like, I interviewed him back earlier this year after he won the Arnold.
Yeah, I like his look a lot.
He was telling me he was like 7 or 8 pounds under the weight cap. I'm like, what?
Wow.
Yeah, I'm like, so like, but that just goes to show you the illusion of bone structure.
That's true. Yeah.
You know, like some guys, like, I think if you're like stocky or built, you got to get bigger.
Yeah.
To create that illusion on stage. So yeah, 300 for me is tough. I've been up there before. It was like powerlifter big.
Yeah. I never get, like, I don't let myself get tubby like that. Like, I get big, borderline. I'll get up to like 18%, I think was my highest this past year, at least on the in body. But, you know, they're somewhat accurate. I just like to use it to kind of keep track of if I'm going up or down, you know?
I just like, at my age, I like to be within striking distance. I just find it like prep.
Yeah.
Prep. I don't want to have to work hard on prep.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like this year, my food stayed high through the whole prep. It was so nice, man. Like I never got down to any zero carb days. It was like, I think the lowest I ever got was 200 grams of carbs.
Yeah. My lowest was 150. But after the Vermont show, I ate like an asshole for like a day. And he punished me and gave me like 2 zero carb days in a row. And then from then on, this entire prep, it was like 2.5, 3 weeks. He put me at 150 carbs a day, and I was doing 45 a.m., 45 p.m. for cardio.
Oh wow! Holy shit, man!
I did that every day it was what, 2.5 weeks, right? Oh, she's not even there. I think it was like 2.5 to 3 weeks every day. Yeah, that was hard.
I never got over 30 minutes.
I don't mind it though. I feel like I need to know I'm suffering a little bit. Like, I need to know it's really hard, because that tells me that, you know, I'm going beyond what other people may do. Like, I need to know it's hard.
Yeah, it was a mind fuck. Like, I was like telling Justin, I'm like, man, am I working hard enough, man? Am I going to be ready? And
yeah, 200 carbs a day, 30 minutes of cardio.
I mean, we were doing, on my high days, I was going up to like 1,500, 2,000 grams of carbs.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, I mean that's how crazy my metabolism is, man. I flatten out real easy.
We didn't go above 6.
Oh wow, yeah. So you're one of those guys. Like I love coaching guys like you that just like you can just bury them and they don't flatten out or get small, man.
Yeah, like I seem to respond really quick now, like to changes like that. And I think because I just get fat and soft too easy, in my opinion. So like we have to do everything real slow to kind of see how it's going to work.
Well, the great thing with that type of metabolism that makes the off season easy. Like I literally, man, I have to eat fucking candy and shit in the off season to be able to gain weight because I just can't eat any more food.
Yeah. It was hard. This last off season was definitely hard, man. When you're trying to force that last, at least for me anyway, that 10 p.m. meal because you already delayed it enough. You want to go to bed, and you're just so full. You just how much rice and chicken do you want to eat? It tastes good, but you're just full.
Yeah, it seems like Andrew's probably pretty strict with the food, is he?
Yeah, we don't do that whole like burger and fry thing before a show. Like we keep it tight.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm sure he's gonna be mad at me when I check in on Monday for the way I've treated myself this week. Like I'm already expecting it, but it's also kind of at this point it's kind of my routine after I compete. I need to just kind of do my thing for a few days. And then I'm back to it.
Yeah, you got to unplug and give yourself a break, man. Yeah. Be ready for the next phase.
Yeah, exactly. It helps me I get that break, and then I'm like, all right, it's time to work. Let's fucking do it.
Have you picked out a pro show yet?
I haven't. I just started thinking about it because I want to do it probably around this time of year. So I don't know which ones are there, but Andrew and I haven't talked about it. So I don't want to just do a show because I can. Like I want to make sure I'm fucking good. You know what I mean? Like I want to have a good off season. So
I think I'm going to do the Tampa.
Yeah. See, I was thinking about that because I've never been there. I want to go there.
And everybody that I talked to that's done that show said it's really well done and they treat the athletes really well.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a master's division. I have no illusions about competing in the open, but I'll do the master's division and go down and just. I have some friends down there for you to, and it's late July, so that's perfect.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I thought about doing that show, but yeah, I mean that's wild to think about though. I'm sure you're still like I don't know, like the first month afterwards, it was just weird for me. You won the overall too, right?
Yeah.
I'd never won an overall at a show until
really?
This was the first time I ever won an overall.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. The times I've been with Andrew, I've won overalls every time.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good record. Everybody else I would take like first, but never overalls or like seconds. I did that show after I did really well at Vermont. I did it's like the Eastern Championships or whatever. And I sucked ass, dude. I don't know what happened, but I don't know. I went to like 9th or 10th place or something. It was awful.
Is Vermont where you're from?
I grew up right outside of Philadelphia. I moved here after my military career, and this is where my kids are, so that's why I'm here now.
Okay, that's awesome, man. Yeah. New England's awesome, although cold.
I do love it. Like, I realized driving home that I did feel like home when I was starting to hit the mountains and be out away from everybody again. But I hate the winters, dude. They are so goddamn long up here.
Are you out in the mountains?
I mean, yeah, we're up by Canada. I'm in northern Vermont.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful, but it's not beautiful when it's June and it's still 40 degrees outside. That is not beautiful.
What do you do for the gym? For the gym, do you work out at home or do you have a gym you go to?
So Synergy in Williston, Vermont sponsors me, and I go there.
Oh, awesome.
I have cardio at the house, but yeah, they sponsor me, and I go to their gym. We also have another gym called Lift. That used to be like the bigger bodybuilder gym. It's a lot of fun. It just the vibe kind of changed a little bit, and it just wasn't my crowd anymore. And I became friends with Pat, the gym owner of Synergy, and he's a really good dude. That he's a former competitor, and he just understands everything. It's good talking about stuff, and he runs a really good gym.
Yeah, I live in Washington D.C. I'm lucky. I got a really good bodybuilding gym right by me.
Nice.
So I hit that, and there's a couple good bodybuilding gyms in the area.
Yeah.
We have several pros that work out at my gym, so it's pretty cool.
That's what I love about traveling is going to see those other gyms and meeting new people. Because up here, like we really are just isolated. There's not much.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool being in a big bodybuilder gym, but I would like to get out in the woods at some point, man. I grew up I grew up in the country. I fucking hate the city.
Yeah. Yeah, and then now you're in DC. That's the complete opposite of where you want to be.
Yeah, I've been here my entire adult life.
Yeah.
My kids are in school and stuff, so you know how that goes, man. I can't eject right now. I got to wait until they're done, but I'll probably go down south somewhere.
That's what my girlfriend Brooke and I were thinking. We definitely want to do, like, not summer all year. We want seasons, but just more reasonable.
Yeah, I was thinking like the Carolinas or the southern part. I live in Virginia, outside of Washington D.C., but maybe the southern part of Virginia or something.
Yeah,
open up a little bodybuilding gym someplace.
That'd be cool. That's always legit, dude. That's like if I could like make a living doing that, that's exactly what I would want to do. But up here, you can't.
Gyms are a pain
I don't know
in the
how
ass.
people do.
Everybody that runs a gym says they're a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to work 7 days a week.
Absolutely. And then, like, the equipment that you and I, I'm sure, would want for our gyms, like, where do you get that startup from? You know what I mean? You need $2 million to open up the gym that you want to start. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like, the place I work out at, we have a lot of Prime and Panada and Atlanta stuff, and those things are like $10,000 a piece.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome equipment.
Yeah, they are not cheap. Mm. And then you got people not paying their memberships. Yeah, all kinds of crazy shit you got to deal with.
Pat up here is real cool. Like, you don't see a lot of Arsenal or anything like that up here. And Pat, the owner of Synergy, he's cool. He usually buys 1 or 2 pieces of equipment a year. Like, he got the Arsenal pendulum squat last year.
Yeah, we have that. That thing's badass.
Dude, I love it, man. He just got in this week the Cybex like low press machine, which is awesome. So he's really cool. It's like you go to this gym and you don't expect to see pieces of equipment like that, and then you have like these little bright lights just like popping up on you. It's like, ooh, check that out.
Yeah, we have all the new Atlanta stuff, which is really cool. I used to be, and I think Andrew came from that same chain. Dante Trudell trained me when I was younger, and
he's used to.
Yeah, it's funny how many people came from Dante.
Yeah,
Dante and his train. I wish I could get him on for an interview. He won't do social media, but Dante's the man. But anyway, I used to do that heavy, hardcore DC style training. I can't really do it anymore. I'm old, so having all these machines, these nice machines now, has really extended my ability to train.
Yeah. Because, I mean, that's what we do. We work around our injuries, right? So I've noticed the same thing. I had a bicep issue that I had to work around a wrist issue. And when you have those machines, you're able to kind of manipulate, your positioning to still train without hurting it.
Yeah, I'll get clients that ask me, like, well, how do you deal with injuries? And I'm like, you just fucking work around it, man.
Exactly. Like, just if it hurts, don't do it.
I've gotten into training some NFL guys. I have several NFL guys.
Nice.
And like one of my NFL guys I was talking to, and he says the only time I'm not hurt is in the off season.
It's true. There's always something.
So I mean, that's sort of the way you got to be with bodybuilding. You just got to work around it. Like you just got to push. Well, it's there's stupid and there's smart ways to do it. Like I used to be the stupid guy where I would just, if it hurt, I'd just keep doing it.
Oh yeah.
But
there's a difference between being injured and being hurt, and I don't think people understand that either.
Yeah.
They feel pain and they just get scared. Where it's like you can control that and you can keep going. That's not an injury.
What I figured out is like if I have something that's causing me chronic pain, a lot of times it's something shitty in my form, or I just need to pick a different exercise and just rotate that one back in later. It's probably just repetitive motion and then just tendonitis and inflammation from doing that. But that's the great thing with a lot of these machines. It used to be back in the day, like free weights were so far superior to any machines you have, but now like with some of the awesome plate load stuff that we have,
they're not ergonomic at all, and now they really go with the body.
Yeah, like the Atlanta stuff. Like I'm just like, man, I haven't done a barbell bench in years, and it's like I don't know why I would even go back at this point with some of the stuff I have.
I love training. It's so much fun.
Do you still do a lot of barbell work or?
Yeah, I try to. I switch it up, right? So like if we're doing chest, I definitely favor incline for most movements during chest.
Yeah.
But I like to call it like we'll do our heavy movement, which is one of our presses. So I'll do like an incline barbell, or like flat. We'll do once a month, or we'll do heavy dumbbells, and then I like to do some type of intensifier at the end of that exercise, like the fourth, fifth, probably sixth set.
Yeah, I miss doing that stuff, man. I thought about going back to doing some incline presses, but I like my shoulders. I need to get my shoulder fixed, man. I got a fucked up shoulder.
Yep.
So I just like my shoulder's not stable enough really to do it anymore.
Yeah, I see it all the time, and it's because when we were young, we were stupid. Like that's what it is. When we were young, we were trying to push too much weight to look cool, and we fucked up our shoulders. Like I see it.
I tore my labrum, dude, and I did it in jiu-jitsu. It wasn't even.
Oh, really? Jesus.
And then I made it worse doing weighted pull-ups. At the bottom, letting it hang too much, and then I felt it pop even more. And so, like, now my shoulder doesn't stay in socket, but I've been trying to put off that surgery because...
Yeah, there's a lot of downtime.
Yeah, I don't want to miss the off season. That's how stupid I am. Like, oh, you could get this fixed, and you'll feel a lot better, and you have to take 6 months off from the gym. I'm like, yeah, no, fuck that.
So long.
I'm not taking 6 months from the...
Some of the best, or most common advice I give for chest stuff and shoulder stuff to my clients, or even just people at the gym, is it's all ego. Even with women, you got to take that out of it. You got to drop the weight and just pop that chest out like you're a cartoon superhero. You know what I mean? And then just really focus on that chest. People, you got to have that mind muscle. Like you can't just move the weight. You have to control it, and you have to control it using the muscles you're training. And I don't think people know that. They just want to move the weight.
That's a thing that I think a lot of young bodybuilders miss out on. And something I think I've gotten better at as I've gotten older is learning how to train like a bodybuilder instead of a power lifter. I think a lot of young guys get hyper focused on strength. And I'm not saying that strength is not important. A bigger muscle is going to be a stronger muscle. There's no denying that. But you can make shit harder by, at the end of the day, what grows a muscle is mechanical tension. And you can, like, if you think about it, like if you pull it back and think about it, like with powerlifting, you're trying to get the weight from point A to point B in the most efficient way possible. Like you're literally trying to take leverage off or tension off of the muscle and use form to get the weight up. Where it's the exact opposite in bodybuilding. You want to place as much tension as you possibly can on the target muscle for hypertrophy.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And they get confused because younger people or even older people, they want to be strong and look good. Yeah, you're not going to be able to do both that way. If you want to be strong, you can do it. It's just going to take time.
It's weird to me. It's perplexing with the bodybuilders because like powerlifters have very specific ways of training. Like they understand, like, I need to periodize, I need to do this lift, and they program all their training out. It's very specific. Even like with CrossFit or Olympic lifting, it's all very specific. Like young bodybuilders, like they just are all over the place. They try to be a powerlifter, a CrossFitter, and they're swinging kettlebells, and like they're like trained specifically for your sport. If you want to be good at your sport.
I think people too, they just get stuck in these, like, they buy a training program, right? Or they make one up and they just stick directly to that program. I will do 4 sets of 12 to 15 at this weight, at this percentage. Like, just fucking train. And people are like, oh, well, how much in between sets? I'm like, as long as you want. Like, I want to go take a 20-minute break, but if you need 3 minutes, take 3 minutes and hit it again. Or if you want to do a fourth set, because third set didn't feel that good, you should probably do a fourth set. You know what I mean? It's not like you have to stick to this box because you're not going to – you may get to a certain point, but I think you're going to plateau really quick if you just keep yourself in the box. You have to. There's nowhere else to go. Like, you have to keep that intensity going or you're not going to keep changing.
Yep. I remember Dante telling me, like, I remember asking him, I'm like, dude, how long should I take between sets? And he goes, long enough to be ready to do the next one.
Yeah. I mean, that's the perfect answer. Yeah. And I think
I'm like, well, all right, that answers it for me, man. That makes it simple.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as I caught my breath and my brain's ready to go, I mean, that's when I'm doing my second set, you know what I mean? And, subsequent sets. So I think
Yeah, and sometimes if you go too soon, like if you think about it, you're going to have an oxygen debt, and you're not going to be able to push effectively, enough to get proper stimulus. Now, you don't want to be doing powerlifting rest like those guys. They'll take. They're over there having a conversation, and dinner, and ordering Uber Eats, eating a burger, doing their taxes, and then they do their next sets.
You know how there's that rivalry like between the branches of the military, right?
Yeah.
I kind of feel that way with like bodybuilding and CrossFit and powerlifting. So we just all bust each other's balls. I think it's funny how powerlifters like do all this shit with like blocks on their chest and 5 spotters and bands. It's like they do all this stuff to be strong, but they're not really working as hard as they should be to get strong. It's really weird to me. I don't understand why what you're getting out of moving 500 pounds 2 inches with people helping you. I don't get that. It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, it's the difference between being focused on numbers and focused on physique. I mean, they laugh at us too, man. It's
that's fine. That's what makes it fun. Like I love that kind of that rivalry.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
I would just like understand it.
What's the old joke? Powerlifters or bodybuilders that couldn't follow a diet.
Yeah.
I don't know. One of my buddies who's a pro, he goes, "I'd rather look like I lift weights."
Yeah, that's what I tell people. Like, if you're going to come and work hard every day, don't you want to look like it? Have a little bit of discipline.
Yeah, my gym is pretty wild. We have a bunch of pro powerlifters too. We have powerlifting and bodybuilding, so I get to see some guys in there that are insanely strong.
Yeah,
and then it's funny because outside of the gym, I get more attention than they do. People aren't walking up
like up here. Like at that gym lift I was talking about, that's like the powerlifter gym as well as the strongman stuff. And it's just I see a lot of people that kind of give themselves this label that they haven't earned, and they definitely don't train like it. So but then there's this dude Aaron Foundry. He's a strongman down in New Hampshire, I believe. He's one of the strongest fucking guys I know, and he weighs 200 pounds, but he looks great and he's fucking strong. Like that's the type of powerlifter or strongman that like I can look up to and respect. But when these guys around here just like going through the motions, not dieting, taking their breaks, and just calling themselves powerlifters who've never even competed, like, come on, man.
Yeah, those aren't real guys, though. Yeah, I mean, I used to love powerlifting. I did some when I was in my 20s. I'm not made for it. Like my genetics. Yeah, you have to have that. You probably could be pretty good at it because you have that dense structure.
I got a big bench. And I think if I worked at my squat, I'm not flexible enough to hold a bar, so I can't even do it. But I definitely have a big bench. I got a pretty good deadlift and squat, but I just use a safety bar. So I think I could. I just don't want to.
That's funny talking about squatting, man. Like I don't see many bodybuilders that do back barbell squats, like just regular barbell squats.
So it's definitely part of my rotation still.
Is it? Yeah. Wow.
You know, Big John.
Revis?
No, Big J. He's Ronnie Coleman's training partner.
Oh yeah.
So he had a conversation with him, and he's the one who kept me squatting basically before when I was in this off season. I met him previously, and I sent him a message, and he called me, and he was like, "You got to squat." He was like, "Squat." So I listened to him, like, "All right, I'm going to keep squatting." And now I just use a safety bar, and I would say every other week is a barbell squat day. Like we'll rotate between barbell, hack, and pendulum. So I guess every 3 weeks.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not going crazy. I'm still training like a bodybuilder, doing it smart. But I mean, I love it. It made my legs. My legs had to come up this year, and they did. And I think that's a big reason.
Oh, your legs were sick.
Thanks, man.
And they looked ridiculous. Yeah, I think squatting too. Like some of it's your frame. Like this is another thing. Like finding exercises that fit you. Like it seems like short guys do better with squats. Yeah, for sure. With me, I'm so fucking long. Like I did squats all the way up until a couple of years ago, but I'm so damn long. It's all back for me. My legs.
I was going to say, there's so much like leverage on your back from that being that high.
Yeah. So that's another thing. Like I think when I swapped out for hacks in pendulum, I think I got better results out of it. It was more of a like it was more like doing a big good morning for me.
Yeah, exactly. That's how, when you were explaining it, that's what I was thinking about with you, because you have that long spine, like the weight's all up
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, short guys like like Tom. People like to talk about Tom Platz, and like that guy was made to squat, man.
Yeah.
That dude's the way his body is. But I mean, if you can do the fundamental stuff and you progress it, I mean, you are going to get bigger. I mean, there's just no denying that.
I'm just trying to train really intuitively. Like if it feels good and I'm getting progress from it, I'm going to do it. I'm trying not to stick to this rules thing. Like, oh, I don't do barbell squats anymore. I don't do barbell bench press anymore. I want to do it as long as it feels good and it's helping me. And when it stops benefiting me, then I'll stop.
I think that's the smart approach. I've been running Dr. Mike Israetel. I've been running his style of training for the last 3 or 4 years. And one of the things like he talks about is like the best exercise is the one that fits you.
Yeah, exactly.
And like there's no right or wrong answer. And then like another thing too, like I had never really considered. He talks about like sort of like the cost versus benefit of an exercise.
Yeah.
Injury risk is something you got to consider, especially as you get older.
Yeah, that's been huge on my mind.
The fatigue costs, so for example, like if you do, like for me, like I think about it like with deadlifts, like the injury risk for me at my age, and then the fatigue costs, like would I have been better off doing 5 sets of rows versus 1 set of, all out deadlifts? I don't know.
Yeah,
probably the rows would benefit me more. So that's one of those things where you just kind of have to evaluate it personally and figure out what works for you. But there's no one tried or true answer. Like everybody wants the best.
And that in the like same kind of way of thinking with that too. Like that's what pisses me off when people make comments about somebody's form. Because I know the way I do some shit probably looks really weird. Anything bicep, my wrists are way out. Like it looks weird, but that works for me because it's not hitting anything that hurts, and I'm hitting my biceps. And everybody's body is so different. They have different tweaks. They have different ways they have to hit their muscle. And you have all these people like, oh, you should really be doing this. Like, fuck off, dude.
Well, I mean, you look at Branch Warren and Ronnie Coleman. They both had shitty form, and they were at the top of the sport. So clearly, whatever they were doing was working for them.
And how about Branch? Like that dude just threw around crazy heavy weight, and he would just grow. Like nobody else can do that.
Yeah, no, I would break if I tried.
Yeah, I would too.
I'd rip a bicep off my arm if I tried to do that shit. But yeah, it's I think the main thing, and like even like when you watch those guys lift, you could see, like if you sit there and watch, you could see that they were actually providing stimulus to the muscle. Like I think that's the main thing, is making sure that your form is such that you're actually stimulating mechanical tension on the target muscle to elicit some hypertrophy. So that's really the most important part. And as far as like I see people all the time like debating like the high intensity versus high volume, you can do both.
Yeah, you should do both.
You just got to pick one, or you got to pick your poison, man. Like if you're doing higher intensity, you need to back off the volume a little bit. If you're doing more volume, you got to back off the intensity. It's a sliding scale either way. They both work. Clearly, there's been plenty of people that have done both and had success.
Yeah, dude. Like my workouts, I'm telling you, I go by feel. If I feel like going like a crazy superset, I'll do it. And then the next set, if I'm just feeling strong that day, maybe I will try to build up to like a set of 4 to 6 on bench, and then do a back off set. But then I have those other days where I feel weak, and you don't hit the intensity as much. Like I try to do whatever my body feels that day, just as hard as I can. And it's working pretty well. It's fun.
I've gotten to the point, and I don't know, maybe it's just I'm getting old. I've gotten to the point where I think like training, really the job of the training is to provide enough stimulus to elicit growth. And then really the food is the hard part, man. The food's the part that makes it work. Yeah.
It's hard, man. I love it. I love it all. I really do. Like even the shit that sucks, I love it. I don't know. I'm used to prepping the food. I'm used to eating the food. I'm used to having to stuff myself. I'm used to having to starve myself. Like I just love being different, I guess, and that we work so hard for this. And it's so different than everybody else's life. It's just a lot of fun for me.
Yeah, I talk about that all the time too, man. I like doing the stuff that other people are unwilling to do.
Exactly. Just the fact that we have the discipline and the drive to do this. Like, I respect people like us so much just because I know what it takes. But it's also bad because it's hard for me to look up to people, that aren't in our sport, because I'm like, dude, that's really weak. Like, just do it, do the work. Like,
I heard a guy, and this always stuck with me. A guy, I forget who it was, but the guy that was a climber, and he talked about climbing Mount Everest, and he's like, I don't climb Mount Everest for the view. I climb it for the process of getting up there.
Yeah, that's incredible.
That's the same thing. The view is a result of the hard work. It's the same thing like the pro card is the result of the following the process and doing the work day in and day out. I think that's where a lot of people miss the boat.
Like, when you achieve certain things, you're not the same person afterwards. Like, you're better. You know what I mean? Like, you worked really hard, you sacrificed, and you've learned. That's the thing, is like, to me, like, I think learning is part of being better. And every time we do this stuff, we learn. Like, every time you suffer, I know I learn.
Well, the cool thing about this too, dude, I've seen so many bodybuilders take this skill set, this ability to learn how to suffer, learn how to push, learn how to set goals, translates well into other things in life. So like business, I see so many bodybuilders that do well in business.
Yeah.
Because I think if you have this sort of discipline, you can apply the same sort of, the willingness to grind, the willingness to suffer, the willingness to do things that other people won't do. It translates really well to business.
Yeah, like, to not quit, it's huge.
Yeah. So much of it is not quitting.
Yeah. It's weird. Like, people, I kind of joke around, like, we don't really have talent. We just lift weights, right? But discipline, you're not born with it. You either have it or you don't. I think you can kind of develop it. But it's really a mindset, and not everybody has that, especially to this level. So, maybe that is the talent that bodybuilders have, is our discipline. If you had to say, like, what's your talent? You know what I mean?
I've always liked grinding at things, whether it was business. I played sports when I was younger. I think I find that a lot of bodybuilders were athletes when they were younger. Did you play any sports?
I did. I played baseball, I wrestled, and I did football. But then I got more into girls and partying. So that ended that career, and then I went away to the military.
I got into. I probably should have
until like my junior year in high school, and then senior year I didn't.
I probably should have had my pro card in my 20s, but girls and partying got in the way of that.
Yeah, believe me, I would have been farther ahead of my career too if I made some different choices.
But it was fun.
I had my fun in Germany, man. It was too much fun.
I've heard Germany's awesome.
Yeah, I was there for 3 years, 3.5 years.
You were in the Air Force?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. How long were you in?
I just did my 4. Just my
original
enlistment. Yeah, came out and I went to the academy in Vermont.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I'm glad I did it. It was not something easy, and I was young. It was definitely hard to be away from home and young, for sure. I was not ready for that, but I'm glad, I did it.
Well, I think that probably helped set some of the discipline and the ability to do things.
Like, I was telling my girlfriend this story, but basically I landed in Germany, and I had no one to come pick me up. I had to figure out my way to get to the base. I had to figure out where I was going to live. Like, you're supposed to have a sponsor that helps you do these things, and mine was incompetent. So I basically landed in Frankfurt, and I was completely alone and had to figure this stuff out. And that's when everything changed for me. I was like, fuck. Like, okay, things are different now. Like, this is the real world.
18, 19 years old, I guess.
Yeah, I was 18.
That's crazy to think about, because my son wants to be in the military, and he's a teenager now. He's not that far away from it. Like, he can barely get himself dressed in the morning.
You might have some trouble. That first couple of weeks of basic training might be an issue.
It's probably good, though. Be a good thing for it.
Yeah.
So no show planned yet. You're kind of thinking through that.
Yeah, I think we're going to figure it out. Probably we're going to talk about it Monday when I check in. I think we're going to come up with some type of plan and then go from there.
What weight were you targeting for the stage?
Ideally, I want to be 260s.
Yeah.
I don't think I can do that this year. I think that'll probably take 2 years, but I think I could definitely be 250s by like a pro debut.
Are you going to take a year off before you do a pro debut?
I don't know. I want to take 8 months to a year. Yeah. Like I said before, like I don't want to just show up and say like I'm a pro and do a pro show. Like I want to be a fucking good pro. So I want to do whatever I can to do that first, and then I'll get on stage when I earn it. You know what I mean? I feel like I haven't earned it yet. I need to get better first, and then I'll get it up there.
Man, I felt like you could have done really well at the Open there too, at the show. There was that one freakazoid that was there.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I was happy with top 5 there. Honestly, I really was. Yeah, there was a lot of good bodybuilders there this year. So, yeah, I'm not going to complain. I set some good goals, and I think I achieved them, and I'm happy about it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, dude, I appreciate you coming on, man. I got to wrap up, but is there anything you want to promote? Anything, coaching? Anything people get in contact with you?
I want to make it very clear, though. I don't do prep coaching. I'm a lifestyle coach. I can definitely help you.
Smart man.
Yeah.
Prep's a pain in the ass, dude.
Your goals in the off season. I can get you in shape. Just, better, healthier life for sure. I'll refer to you a prep coach if you want to go down that contest route. I have a couple of sponsors that I want to shout out. Amino Asylum, Proze, and Savage as Fuck Supplements. All those codes are on all my social media. So, and I don't promote anything I don't take. So these are companies that I trust, that I use, that have got me, to where I am right now. And other than that, I just want to thank Andrew. He's fucking a great coach. I'm really happy that I'm with him. And I want to thank Pat, the gym owner, for supporting me and, have my back for like 5 years now.
Tom, I appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks a lot, dude. Appreciate it.